One of the things about martial arts is, for me, is to render it down to its simplest terms and its simplest forms, because it's so easy to get confused by styles and systems and methods and ideas that we start to lose our path a little bit on what it is that the martial arts is for. So for me, I cut it down to two things. The martial arts is about philosophy and physics. Philosophy is why you do something, and physics is the doing of that something. So when you get into a martial art, you have to think about, why are you getting into it? Is it for self-defense, weight loss, confidence? If it's for self-defense, what kind of self-defense do you assume that it will be? And all our notions of self-defense are driven by our experience. That's a previous set of physics, something that's happened, and a philosophy that's interpreted what happened. But overall, I think you have to think about what the reality is in terms of what you're trying to achieve. Achievement in the martial arts doesn't have to be a black belt, doesn't have to be leadership. It's a personal thing, and it's taken to a level where you can enjoy or benefit from what you've learned. But it's so easy to get mixed up with these flowery terms, flowery ideas and methods that you sometimes see in Kung Fu, or these 540 and 720 spinning and jumping kicks of Taekwondo and other systems. And for me, these are not martial arts. These are martial-ish. They're based on something that could work, and they're developed into something that couldn't. That's okay, because I mean, just if you can do acrobatic kicks, and you like the floweriness of a Kung Fu form, great. But you mustn't sell that as a self-defense system. You mustn't sell that as a practical system. You know, you don't see Navy SEALs going into action, or the SAS, Special Services. You don't see them doing massive acrobatics into action. Only in films. That's for the Marvel enthusiasts. They stick to the basics. So it's like Occam's razor. You find the simplest route to a destination. You don't look for the excess. And this is what happens sometimes with the martial arts in terms of their philosophy. Their philosophy becomes that they practice an art, but not what that art was originally to do. I think the ancient masters of, whether it be Kung Fu, karate, or whatever system, would be pretty much appalled at how martial arts is used today. Because very often what people are doing, they're not practicing a martial art, they're practicing a tradition. And this is like the people who perform in the sealed knot, the Civil War reconstructions. They don't claim necessarily to be martial artists, and they may be good martial artists, I don't know. But what they're doing is they're reenacting a war or a battle from the past. And that's what people who get too hung up on the history of the martial arts, they're reenacting something from the past that they don't fully understand. I know some are actually performing it for a reason that they'll learn to understand it. But then you have to ask, is that a practical way to understand? Is that to have to divine or study ancient movements to find out what they were? Well, for me, that's the work of archaeologists and historians, not for a martial artist.